Man, alright. World of Warship Legends. We just made a Napoli video about a good game, and I'm like, you know what? That was fun. Maybe the curse is lifted. It was not lifted. Alright, so we're on whatever this map is. Scandinavia? Scandinavia. There we go. Triple division on the enemy team. Whatever on our team. I've kind of stopped checking the commanders. I mentioned that before. It was fine for a little while, but honestly, it's just, I would say 80-90% of the commanders are at least reasonable. More, maybe probably more than that. But yeah. So we got triple division, middle with, I don't know, fine, the Napoli can spot. There's no destroyers in this match, which is a bit of a bummer, but I look at the teams and I'm like, you know what? I probably outspot all but maybe two. The other Napoli might be better than me. The Johan might have better concealment, and the Dalian might have better concealment. So I've got better concealment than, you know, almost certainly all but three of their ships. I guess the Wooster could have a stealth build, and he might have. But all of them are going to be close anyway. Napoli's tanky. I'm like, all right, I'll spot for the team. I've got the smoke to disengage as long as I'm not in radar range if I really need to. I'm fast enough, tanky enough, concealed enough. I'm a good person to spot. So I'll go out here on the flank. I don't want to go in too deep because, again, there's no destroyers. We're not going to spot stuff until it's kind of like you're in combat if you get spotted or spot someone else. So play it easy. Like, oh, we see all three of these. All right, it's three cruisers over here. Hey, you know what? This would be amazing if our Des Moines to our left will kind of hit that, you know, yeah, like you just stay right there, man. I'll come over to the side and spot. You just stay right there. Uh-oh. Petra's dead. Dev strike. That's no good. Okay. Well, that's fine. You know what? I feel like I like my odds. That Vermont's a long way away. If I can spot for the Des Moines, especially if I can kind of curve around to the right, get my nose in secondary range right here. I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna spot for you. Just chill. He's like full health. But then he decides he needs to go in and cap. And this is I don't say that to specifically criticize that. I've been guilty of that in the past myself. You know, it's like get the caps, play the caps, get the caps, get the points. Valid. You know, it's good generally. It's generally good advice. But the thing is, especially like here at Legendary Tier, dude, like we saw three cruisers right there. They're not just gonna stay there if you come into the cap. There's three of them because our Petra got dev struck, so we're already down a ship. And that Vermont, like, he's in range, man. So like, yeah, the second you stick your nose around, they're just gonna come out and start whacking you. So fine, I pull up a little bit. Hindenburg's in secondary range. This is actually a position where, uh-oh, there's a Worcester down. Uh-oh, there's a Des Moines down. And I'm just like, you know, right here, I'm like, alright, this is dumb. I'm eating this Hindenburg up, but it doesn't matter. You know? I've definitely talked to people that are like, matches are over in the first 3 seconds, and you never blah blah blah. And I'm like, nah, man, no, like you play it out, it's fine. There's always something you can do. But this one, I'm just like matchmaking. This was over with the matchmaking. I almost took the shot on that Stalingrad there. I might have been able to sneak it in, but I'm like, no, don't do it. The Vermont's coming. I need to stay unspotted. Maybe get some caps. I see our oh yeah, our team was capping D. Except they're doing the, man, this is why Monopoly has a losing record, you know. Anyone watch this game and tell me I can't play the Napoli or tell me what to do better. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. This was already done. And I've played, you know, almost 50 games in this thing, and it's just, I have made some bad plays. I've been over aggressive or push in, you know, both with the previous build before the secondary buff and then even now with the secondary buff, and I was still trying to like, oh, like I'm gonna get the secondaries in rage, I'm gonna shred everything. Like, it doesn't work like that. It takes a minute. You know, you see I got like 50 hits on that Hindenburg and he went down. Like, Yeah, it takes a minute. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but I still think I like kind of know how to play the Napoli, at least better than average. And now this is gonna put it back down even further. It was 46, it's going even lower. I like the Napoli. I want to enjoy playing it, but it's just like game after game is this, and that's I guess that's the thing that frustrates me the most. I have a good friend in the game that is always giving great advice about like, hey man, don't focus on just winning. Like go play the game and have fun, learn the ship, whatever. And like I fully agree with that advice, and I always appreciate it when he says that because it's like, yeah man, like that I get it, that's true. But like the flip side, the counterpoint is like this is just dumb. Like I could have won this side if like let's just watch the rest of it before I get too frustrated with everything else. I am playing this point, so I specifically right where the Des Moines was, which is decent if you have the cover, but if you're spotted, like there's too many deadly ships on the match that overmatch the Des Moines. So I played that in my plan, like I'll just back up if I need to, if I get spotted. Here, my team, what's the shreds? To shreds, you say? What's left of my team is mostly over here, and I'm like, alright, well, I might as well engage. The Vermont's off to that side. He just fired. I can definitely get in before he gets his guns over, but the Stalingrad takes a shot with those wicked fast Soviet shells, gets in before I can close up my angle, but that's fine. Like, that wasn't my preference, but it's fine. Um, Here, let's just do some work on the Vermont. Again, the secondaries are just going to take a little while, take a little time. I'm checking it's 7.6. Said I thought it was 7.3. I think it's actually 7.3 on the Michelangelo, which is another reason that the Napoli still needs some love. The secondary buff is great. This has made it a lot more competitive or like spicy. It's like it's got a little something going for it that it certainly didn't have necessarily before. Like you could do the agile thing, but realistically, it was just kind of outclassed. Like, there were enough other ships at Legendary Tier doing some of the similar things, but better. Maybe not in the exact mix that the Napoli could, but, like, yeah, it's kind of outclassed. Secondaries help. I think smoke and fix that firing penalty. Again, Michelangelo, I'm almost positive, is 7.3. This is 7.6. Smaller guns, like, come on. The whole, like, smoke firing penalty, as they've buffed that, changed that up and down the line with the Italian battleships, has gotten super wonky as they have or haven't touched ships, and it's just like sometimes it does not make sense. Here I'm just pushing in here, especially because I see their team coming up from D to B. If I can close on these cruisers and sink them before, I don't know. I mean, at this point, this game is done. And that's maybe one of the other limitations of the Napoli. Like, it really doesn't have the tools to sink a lot of, sink the ships that are left. If it ends up in this kind of down a bunch matches, it can't set the fires. It can't, like, dev strike most ships, like a Brisbane or a Jinan or something. But it doesn't have either the punch or the kind of, like, damage over time, or even just really safe damage. Like anytime it's doing damage with secondaries, it's in damage taking range. It can't really do it from cover reliably. Like, yeah, sometimes you can get some secondaries going over an island, but it's relatively rare and it's somewhat limited. And so again, that's a limitation of the ship, and why I think it would be fine. Give it 3 battleship smoke charges, give it a better heal, give it a better smoke firing penalty, a few of these things just to bump it up a little bit in these kinds of situations. I mean, maybe someone's got better luck with matchmaking, better strategies. I honestly don't see anything that I'm doing wrong here. I think this match was done before I even set the throttle. That's unfortunate sometimes. I really, again, I try not to think that way, and I think in a lot of instances there are things you can do to win more matches, things you can do to win a lot of matches that don't necessarily feel winnable. There's nothing I could do. I've got both kills, 1v7. Like, what? There's literally nothing. I tried to spot for the Des Moines. He was dead before I could even get into position. Like, there's literally nothing I could do differently here. Um, Here on the, finishing off this Stalingrad, or trying to. Um, I would love to be at like a different angle. Every red ship that's, what is that, northeast of me, um, has my broadside. At some point, there's the island that's got me some cover, but most of those ships can lob over it. Stalingrad just has too much health, and when you're like humping the border like that, the auto aim can have trouble hitting. It's not always, but it definitely isn't as good as it is at open water. I'm getting some chunks on it, but there's just not enough time. There's not enough time, and then yeah, the Yamato actually got me from long range. I thought it was the Johan that got me. He got the helping hand and saw that. So yeah, nothing I can do, man. It happens sometimes, and whatever. We'll try again. It'll be positive one day.